votes. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I want to thank you and Vice Chairman Klobuchar for holding this hearing on a subject I think of vital importance to the future of our nation's economy and in fact, our national security and the ever-growing debt deficit. Our spending addiction in Washington has led to the point where we are now face the prospect of record deficits as far as the eye can see. The fact is that Congress and the executive branch have failed to address the debt crisis effectively. Temporary stopgap measures solve little, if anything. They simply put off the inevitable day of reckoning. Eventually, we will reach a point where investors either stop buying our debt or insist on higher interest rates to account for the greater risk, potentially triggering a crisis of confidence. Many experts also believe that our failure to seriously grapple with our ballooning national debt is already having a significant detrimental impact on economic growth. We all know, or at least we ought to know, that our current path is unsustainable. Academics, economists, business leaders, the various bipartisan committees that have been formed, Republicans and Democrats, all basically repeat the same thing. Unless we make the tough spending choices that we've been avoiding for years, we're going to face a debt-induced meltdown. It's only a matter of time and the clock is ticking. The plain fact is, in order to make a real impact on the deficit and the federal debt, we need to go big and we need to go bold, and the time to do that is now. We need to incorporate a combination of spending discipline with mandatory structural reform of our mandatory programs and growth-oriented comprehensive tax reform. Those three elements, in my opinion, are absolutely necessary for us to achieve what we need to achieve. Today's hearing presents us with an opportunity to find common ground in tackling these difficult issues. I look forward to the testimony of our witnesses. I want to welcome my former colleague and friend, Senator Judd Gregg, who has had a distinguished career as chairman of the Budget Committee, someone looked to in the Congress as an expert on these issues. We're pleased to have him with us. Dr. Rivlin, I learned about your Hoosier roots this morning, to go with your many other great credentials in terms of service to this country and being such an outstanding voice currently dealing with this issue. Doug Eakin, Dr. Eakin, thank you very much for your continued work. And Simon, Dr. Johnson, we thank you also. And we look forward to your testimony this morning and your guidance and support and help in terms of how we can address this critical issue, because I think the time is now to do it. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Right. Thank you, Senator.